Hello everybody and welcome to this tutorial. In this tutorial I wanna teach you how to create a specific workflow for you and your camera to manage the files that comes out from an infrared converted camera. I converted my Canon EOS 5D and I sent it to LivePixel, and you can find on my website all the links and everything. If you want to do a conversion, all the links to live pixels and all the tutorial material that they have. But basically in this tutorial I start from the presumption that you already have a camera that is being converted in infrared. It's not important what kind of filter did you choose to have on your camera. If you had a 800 nanometers or 720 or other kind of filter that let pass more visible light. The basic idea of the workflow is the same for really every kind of conversion. Here you can see these are some pictures that I just took as test, very quick, and I'm having a lot of fun. I mean, infrared, it's really something nice. Also at night can be very nice. So this said, the problem is when you have a camera converted to infrared, your camera starts to do a lot of really different things. If you take the raw straight from the camera, and if your white balance is on daylight, as you can see here, you have basically a file like this, totally reddish. Nothing seems to be right and correct and usable in this file. The good thing is that in your camera you can create a custom white balance, and to do this you will find the link to the tutorials on my website, but you can do it and it's very easy. The problem is that with a lot of software that convert from raw to a rasterized file, you do not have the opportunity to keep the value that you had in your custom camera white balance, and so it's kind of difficult, and usually the suggestion is to use the software that came with your camera, so for Canon, the Canon converter and so on. But my workflow for everything is based on CaptureOne. I really like CaptureOne. Is for me one of the best raw converter, and I want to be sure to be able to use my infrared converted camera and keep it in my workflow with CaptureOne. So what I did, the first thing was just to check how CaptureOne managed the custom white balance. As you can see, here is daylight. I do click and camera custom, and it's perfect. So this is really something great. You don't have to worry about this. And if you have a camera converted like mine with a 720 nanometers or 800 nanometers filter, probably you will do mostly black and white. So in this is very easy, because as you can see, the file here still has some color in it. If I go and I put the saturation at the maximum, you can see that there are some reddish in the sky, some bluish in the zone with a high concentration of infrared. So when I go back and I convert in black and white, I can basically, for example, move the blue, and you see that there's more or less light in the trees. So this is the way you can use that little amount of colors that you have in your image to modify the black and white. But what I want to show you is the other things. I downloaded the raw files from LivePixel. They have the samples on their website in the page where they show you the different type of filters. And here you can see that you have something very strange, because after you did the white balance, As you see, here is a shot, so it's quite perfectly neutral. But you have the sky that is very yellowish and the trees that are very bluish. This is not what you want if you want to keep the colors and work with color images. This is something that you want, something with the yellow trees and the blue sky. So the problem is to invert these colors. There are many techniques in Photoshop to invert the colors, but all these techniques they work basically on the rasterized files, so on the TIFF or PSD, or depends what you choose, but they don't work straight from RAW. And when you manage the images, when you elaborate the images, if you can do everything from the RAW, it's the best solution, because the RAW is where you have all the data. So to go from here to here with CaptureOne, it's very simple. Once you set up your workflow, you just go here and you decide the profile you want to use, and hire one, and this is exactly the profile you can use. Click the profile and your image is converted. The problem is how you generate this profile, and this is another thing that is really simple. In CaptureOne you have this tool that is the color editor. Is really one of the greatest tools that you can have in a software, in a RAW converter. With this tool we can do something that is easy. Just pick a color. For example, here I suggest to pick a little bit saturated area, so it's easier for the CaptureOne engine to choose the colors, and in a place where you remember where you picked it. So here, for example, I have the reference of this little shadow, and I just click here, and as you can see, the colors are selected here. You can amplify, you can expand the area of the colors from the non-saturated to the saturated colors, and you can just do this. Turn the U saturation. You can turn the U rotation. You can rotate it for 30 degrees. This is the limit. But you click again, you do again, and you go 30 again, and again, and every time the rotation sums up. So basically, when you do this multiple times, it's like to rotate the U more degrees. In this case we are 5 and 6, and as you can see, 6 by 30 is 180, and 180 we went from the blue to the yellow. Here something that I like to do is to do the 7th step, so you can basically do again, regulate this how much you want, so you can decide if you want to keep it more reddish or you want to go a little bit more yellowish. Another thing that is nice here, you can move the saturation, so you can decide if you want more or less saturation, and this is kind of important. And especially use the saturation to choose the color you prefer, so the tint of the color, the hue of the color you prefer. And this is okay. We can put this back, and let's say that I'm happy with something like this, for example, and this is done. Now we have the sky that is still yellow, so we do the same with the sky. We choose an area right here between these two little clouds, click, expand, and U rotation. Click, expand, and U rotation. And in this case I go in negative, just because if I remember it correctly, here the need is not to rotate exactly 180 but a little bit less, so going left can be something that is easier, can save some steps. But basically, let's say you are okay with this kind of colors, you check these three dots in the menu. It will open a menu and is save as ICC profile. Save ICC profile. You always have to leave the name of the camera, because leaving the name of the camera, this will appear as a sub-menu of your camera. So you can write tutorial 5, you can save, and you created a profile. So if you are from the original, here we are resetting everything, you don't have to do all the steps again. You just come here and do this. Sorry, it was, the menu was there. Tutorial 5, click, and the image is okay, exactly as you wanted it. Obviously, this is with this kind of filter. You can do it with different filters. This one you can correct probably some magenta, some tonality. Here I did some total inversion of these pictures. You can see they are totally inverted. This is already okay, so it's not a problem. But this is the basic, the standard infrared filter, the one I have on my camera, the 720. Probably the fact that I see less colors at the moment is because I'm using the camera in winter with not much infrared, so I see much less colors than this. But in this case, also here you have this, and you can go to this. Here are all the steps. Here is just with the IR 720. So you can really create a transformation of the colors. It is exactly what you like. You can save it as an ICC profile. And by the way, the fact that CaptureOne use ICC profiles from the shooting, and not just assuming that you are using a specific profile, a generic profile, gives really an accuracy that is incredible. But gives you also the opportunity to do something like this. So you can convert it, you can create your profile, very easy. Every time you will have a picture, just choose the correct profile, and your image will be converted in a way that you can use if you want to take pictures in colors with infrared cameras. Very, very easy. A good thing about CaptureOne8 is that you can go on www.phaseone.com. You can download it. For the trial version is free to download, and you can use it probably for 30 or 60 days. I don't remember exactly right now. And if you like it, if you try your workflow, try to generate your profile. If you like it, CaptureOne is really not expensive at all, but if you use the code, the coupon code at the checkout, you can use AMB Barbano, and with that you can have 10% of discount when you buy CaptureOne8. So this said, just download it and try it, and I think it's a really great solution for your infrared. Not only for your infrared, but you will see that it's really a great solution for all your pictures, because the sharpness and the quality of the colors, especially that you have with CaptureOne, it's and that's caused by the use of the ICC profile, basically, in when you capture the images. But that things give you so much better raw conversion than other software, and you probably will fall in love with CaptureOne8 as I did. This said, I think it's everything, so see you next time. If you have questions, you can just write me, and on YouTube or on my webpage, and you can find all the information on my webpage. You can find the link to live pixels and everything. Thank you very much.